Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I just choked on some beet juice. It looks like I'm spitting up blood. So bear with me. Wrong pipe. Tears in my eyes. So it is Monday, November 7th, 2 p.m. Eastern. And we have a lot to check in on and talk about. A lot of drama in the crypto world over the last 24 hours. And we'll see how that is shaping up on the charts. Of course, I'm talking about FTX, BNB, drama. Just drama. Anyways, S&P 500 right now is testing the high of the day. We're in a very clear tightening range, and we are testing the high of today, and the high of Friday is right behind it. So bulls obviously want to see these levels break, and they're being tested right now. If they break, the daily bounce continues. What is most important? We have fundamentals this week. The votes for the election tomorrow evening into Wednesday morning. And then we've got CPI on Thursday, which is going to be a major event as well. Because again, keeping in mind, CPI directly tied to what the Fed is doing with rates. If CPI is dropping, maybe the Fed will ease off rates a little bit. If CPI keeps going up, they're going to keep increasing rates. So S&P 500 is going to do one of three things from here. V-shape to a higher high. In my opinion, that's the less likely scenario. Big enough bounce of 50% plus retracement to set a lower high but form a tightening range. Or weak bounce and roll over to confirm a daily downtrend. I'm watching the healthcare and the financial sectors very closely as they are very important for me. And I'll talk about that in the end of the day broader market video when I go into more in-depth of the sectors that we're watching in the S&P 500. So, bulls still have short-term control of the bounce, but we're watching for a daily lower high to be the result of this bounce. And bulls really want to break the resistance that is being tested right now. The dollar is doing exactly what broader market, crypto, and commodity bulls want to see. So we had the weekly downtrend confirmed with zero follow through, which was a red flag for bulls. Now the bears are trying to get that follow through. And you can see we are testing 110. And if we break 109.53, the weekly downtrend continues. And more importantly, it's a monthly inside bar bear break. And we did lose the stair-step pattern here on the monthly chart by about 11 cents right here. But we would clearly say that that is the most convincing monthly consolidation that has taken place at any point since June 2021, which is a year and 4 months, if this inside bar breaks bear. And so part of the thesis for me of looking bullish, whether it's in silver or crypto or the stock market, part of my thesis recently has been watching for dollar monthly consolidation, which we know is inevitable. And we also know that we're just going to be looking for a monthly higher low. So that's likely inevitable as well. But in the short term, we are close to seeing the dollar shape up into monthly consolidation. Bitcoin is looking for a 12-hour higher low, or the daily. I'm liking the 12-hour time frame on a lot of crypto names right now for clarity. So we can say anything above 20,000 is a daily higher low. We're testing EMA 12 support. If we zoom into the 12-hour time frame, we can see that we've been pulling back and we're scouting a 12-hour higher low here. For me, a 12-hour higher low compared to 20,000 is the most likely scenario. So what do we need for a 12-hour higher low to be shaping up? We need an hourly uptrend confirmed. And we are just trading sideways here all day, battling hourly EMA 12 resistance. If the bulls can get over hourly EMA 12, the hourly uptrend is confirmed, the 12-hour higher low is set. From there are three ways that this plays out. Bull break to a higher high, 12-hour lower high in equilibrium, and a confirmed 12-hour downtrend. We do have this 12-hour rising wedge that I've been keeping an eye on. Remember last week I added to my swing position to give myself a break even pretty much at 20,000 on the whole position. And this was what I was watching. If I put on my bear glasses to keep me cautious, I'm watching this. And if we set the 12-hour high or low here, then I'll just tighten this up a little bit and it will be shaping up very nicely. But definitely cautious for bulls because a rising wedge is a pattern that shows us a lack of follow through and bulls tiring. So it's something we're watching very closely. And if you are a bear, you want to see a 12-hour high or low. And that's where you want to be scouting your bear entries. Looking for an eventual loss of the daily uptrend into weekly consolidation. So short term, I'm scouting 12-hour higher lows favoring bulls. Midterm, there will be some bearish plays over the next couple of days as we scout potential 12-hour lower highs on weaker coins. And the one thing that Bitcoin bulls are missing, as I pointed out, is bull breaks that follow through. Bull break into consolidation, bull break into consolidation, bull break into consolidation, bull break into consolidation. You get the idea. Where's the bull break with 3 green days behind it? I mean, we got that for the equilibrium break that we saw here, but that's really the only time that we've seen convincing follow through on a resistance break. This is a nice bounce, but it's not followed through on a resistance break. So that's what's missing in the crypto market right now. If the dollar falls apart in the monthly consolidation, we can get that follow through. So watching it very closely. Ethereum is also in a 12-hour uptrend, trying to set a higher low. Could this be a head and shoulders? You can make the argument. Again, a head and shoulders is just an uptrend going to a downtrend. And on that note, I'm doing a Twitter Spaces tomorrow at this time, 2 p.m. Eastern, talking all about patterns. We're going to talk about equilibriums, head and shoulders, rising wedges. Also, if you have purchased the entries and exits course at any point, I updated it, the whole thing, over the last 2 months, and it's a lot better than it was, and that is just in your account waiting for you to check out. I'll post that link right now, and then we'll post that link in the comments of this YouTube video. Same concepts in the course, but made it with 5 extra years of experience. I'm way better of a trader than I was when I made it. So Ethereum is also a potential rising wedge type pattern because we bull broke with no follow through. So this is what we're watching. If we bounce, even if we hit a higher high, if it lacks follow through, this pattern remains alive. So we're scouting a 12-hour high or low. The bulls need the hourly uptrend here. They actually have it already, so a little bit stronger than Bitcoin. And again, you can see how I'm going from one time frame to the next. All right, I know what I'm looking at on the 12-hour. That's the most clear time frame for me. Then I zoom into the hourly to look for the details to shape up the 12-hour. Is the hourly confirming or negating what I feel is the most likely scenario on the 12-hour? Right now, it's not doing either, but it's close to confirming. So ETH, 12-hour high or low trying to form, 1677 key resistance. We talked in the last live stream how the first red flag for Ethereum bulls was the inability for the BTC pairing to head to a higher high here, where the US dollar pairing did, but we also did hold support. So it's pretty much just a tightening range here. And we're not going to get any information on Ethereum comparative to Bitcoin until this range breaks. Anything under 788 is just a lower high. So potentially we just keep tightening up here for another couple of days. If we get the bear break, we zoom out for weekly consolidation to be underway. And it will be a wide range on the weekly to be watching at that point. But for now, still sideways. All right, drama. So drama, I'm not going to explain all the fundamentals as to what's going on. If you are interested and in following it, it's all over Twitter, just in terms of, whatever Sam of FTX was doing behind the scenes. CZ didn't like it at Binance, and so Binance is selling their holdings of FTX, and the price is obviously dropping in response to that. They're going to have continued selling pressure as it's going to take a while, and it's just a whole bunch of I don't care at all. It's important to be aware of it, but it's just play the charts if you don't want to follow the soap opera, which is how I prefer to do things. Why it's important to be aware of what's going on is, we saw this unfolding yesterday, and after Sol had just made a significant bull move on the daily, we knew to not be aggressively buying this dip. So for Sol, I made a little trade yesterday where I bought for an hourly higher low, and I sold a tiny bit here, and then I stopped out, break even when we dropped to this lower low. But I would have attempted this hourly oversold bounce here if we weren't aware of the news. And so once we become aware of the news, it shifts our perspective a little bit. We're still sticking to the chart, but hourly oversold with news as a reason is a lot different than hourly oversold just based on technicals. Anytime there is news or a fundamental reason involved, always remind yourself this means RSI can get overextended. This means RSI can do something unusual that we're not anticipating that it will do. Because we know that hourly oversold conditions and 15-minute oversold conditions have been pretty good for bulls to be buying these dips over the last couple of weeks. And so anybody unaware of the news and the relation that Sol has to FTX would have lost on this bounce attempt because it would have pulled back a lot further than they would have anticipated. That being said, we are in an uptrend right now on Sol, an hourly uptrend, which means zoom out and scout a 4-hour lower high. If I'm scouting a 4-hour lower high, I'm watching EMA 12 resistance, and I'm watching for the 15-minute RSI to get overbought. Look where we topped out. 4-hour lower high is the most likely scenario. 15-minute RSI hitting 70 puts in a temporary top. It's not saying it's the top of the bounce, but that's a 3% pullback. That's a signal for longs taking a bit of profit, for aggressive shorts to be looking for a position. Again, it's utilizing RSI in addition to the most likely scenarios based on price action. So the most likely scenario does remain a 4-hour lower high, and we're watching for a loss of the 15-minute uptrend to be the first indication that the 4-hour lower high is being set. And then from there, depending on the size of the retracement, it's going to help us determine is this a bear flag or an equilibrium. At this point, it's still a bear flag. Simple statement, if we don't get over 4-hour EMA 12 resistance, it's a 4-hour bear flag. So the burden is on bulls to prove to us that Sol is not a 4-hour bear flag right now. Bulls defended 30-24 support. You can see there's a base here at 30. Let's go to the 12-hour. So we've held 30 twice now, and now this is the third hold. We're watching for a 4-hour lower high. If bulls confirm a 4-hour uptrend, zoom out. We're then watching for a 12-hour lower high with tons of space for it to form. So it's a potential 12-hour head and shoulders if this bounce gets a bit of follow through, with the neckline being at $30. But first things first, that's why I call it the zoom out game. We're going one time frame at a time. You're on the hourly, we change the hourly trend. All right, zoom out, scouting the 4-hour lower high. Eventually, we will set a 4-hour lower high. If we change the 4-hour trend, zoom out, scout the 12-hour lower high. Watch the retracement sizes for clues, watch the volume for clues. But that is how you have a firm grasp on what's going on a chart. Sol BTC broke support. Not by a ton, but that's just a little indication like we needed it. We didn't need it. We know it's bearish. But just a little indication that the BTC pairing is a bit weaker than the US dollar pairing. Same thing, 4-hour lower high. Then we'll watch for a 12-hour lower high if bulls are able to bounce with some follow through. FTT is a lead bear. No matter which way you cut it, as far as who's winning the battle between Sam or between FTX and Binance, use your charts. BNB USDT divided by FTX USDT. It's not even close. I don't even know if we can do this pairing. FTT, that's why. So we can look at this and say that Binance on the weekly chart here has been stronger than FTT since June. So all of July, August, September, October, over 3 months, clearly leading. And we are at essentially the all-time high for the comparison here. So it's not close. Binance is winning big time. As far as, who's winning in terms of users and dollar volume, those are all different metrics. But in terms of tokens, Binance is clearly the winner. So FTT, the lowest price, we broke the fear low of 21.96. So that brought us to the lowest price that we've seen in months. Bulls held 21.07, the fear low, and that's a very important level. But we're just keeping up weekly EMA 12 resistance and bear control. And so here, we're chopping around a little bit, and I'm not sure where I'm finding the clarity. I guess daily inside bar is nice and clear. But we know the burden is on the bulls to prove something to us. And we will be scouting a 12-hour lower high to be the result of the bounce. The next bounce that we see. I guess I'm viewing this as an equilibrium here. If I have to find clarity, I'm going with a low, high, higher low, lower high. And now we're testing support of 22.08 and 21.91. So this is a nice and clear little tightening range. But it is a bit choppy. Bears are going to keep trying to top fish as long as they have opportunities to. FTT BTC, lowest levels in months. Not falling apart comparative to Bitcoin. It's not the end of the world of FTT here. We would need to be seeing, the lowest comparison to Bitcoin that we've seen in 6 months if this were going to be very notable. It's the lowest in 4 months, but if we look at the monthly chart, it's an uptrend. If we lose the monthly uptrend, we can say we are significantly weakening comparative to Bitcoin. So bulls really want to hold this level of 8,566 to keep the monthly uptrend going. But with this cloud overhanging on FTT, it's definitely going to be in the crosshairs of bears. Same with Sol. If they've got a little bit of extra momentum, they are going to be looking at those names, knowing that, I can play these weaker names, and if Bitcoin were to show weakness as well, then it could be very lucrative. If crypto as a whole pulls back and these weak names that are already near supports fall through supports. S&P 500, new highs. Nice job by the bulls. So daily bounce continues. NASDAQ has to break as well. It has not done so yet. Maybe it has here. Just breaking by some pennies. Need a little bit more follow through, but bulls winning the day at this point after a lot of sideways. Is Bitcoin responding? A bit, but we still have to break this double top to set the 12-hour high or low. But again, we're watching that 12-hour high or low to be the most likely here. So we did Sol, Litecoin. Again, Litecoin bulls, daily stair step, just extremely impressive. Multiple times where it's one of the strongest coins over the weekend. Definitely looks like consolidation is due on the daily chart here. Big upper wick of profit taking. We have a very clear hourly downtrend to be watching as a short-term guide. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It's a bit of a falling wedge. So if Bitcoin gives us a 12-hour higher low here, we're going to look for Litecoin to break this falling wedge bullish. So an aggressive bull is scouting an entry on Litecoin and can be using perhaps 67.50 as a stop level. Keeping in mind that even with a bull break, aggressive bears are going to be looking for a 4-hour lower high compared to 73.29. And if we then confirm the 4-hour downtrend, daily consolidation is underway. So with where we stand in this moment, I don't really like a bearish entry here. If I'm looking bearish, I want to see a 30-minute equilibrium bull break to scout a 4-hour lower high. Not an equilibrium, a 30-minute falling wedge bull break to scout a 4-hour lower high. That's a concept that I'm finding a lot of newer traders don't understand, where if I'm not in a position and I'm scouting in a certain direction, so I'll enter, I'll be heading into the morning and scouting an hourly lower high on SPY. But I want to see bulls control the morning and give me a clear 5-minute uptrend all morning to then go off of and say, okay, we lost the 5-minute uptrend. Now I'm short and my stop's over the high at that point. So if I'm looking bearish on Litecoin, I want the bull break. I want the price to get closer to resistance so my risk is smaller and my reward is larger if it plays out that way. LTC, BTC on the 4-hour is similar, holding support still, but A notable shift will take place if these pairings confirm 4-hour downtrends. That's pretty much the goal for the bears into tomorrow. Matic remains a lead bull, extremely impressive. 12-hour EMA 12, didn't even test it. 12-hour higher low was set. Short-term oversold conditions remains the best time to be buying. 113, we hit 15-minute oversold. 113 again, little double bottom, 15-minute oversold. And here we are, 10% plus above that. If we fail to break 131, it's a 12-hour lower high and a tightening range, but already 99% retracement to get back to resistance. Definitely favorable for bulls. Matic is quickly entering the spotlight for being the lead bull. Certainly among one of the top 3 lead bulls in the crypto space in the last month. So new key support down at 113. Matic BTC, look at what it's doing. What's the clue here? The clue favors bulls. We are breaking resistance on the BTC pairing before the US dollar pairing is testing resistance. That's ideal for bulls. It's stronger. Sushi is also a stronger name. 12-hour higher low is set. Again, all of these names have to be cautious, Bitcoin included, have to be cautious that we don't lose these daily uptrends by failing resistance and then losing support. If I'm putting on my bear goggles, even if I'm in bull positions, that's what I'm watching for and cautious of. So bulls have an hourly uptrend on Sushi. If we lose the hourly uptrend, we will zoom out and scout a 4-hour higher low. And the bulls have to confirm a 4-hour uptrend if we're going to have confidence in a daily higher high that has any kind of follow through. So if I'm feeling FOMO on Sushi, am I entering long here? No, I'm saying, okay, good job, bulls. You have my interest. I'm waiting to lose the hourly uptrend. I'll scout a 4-hour higher low from there. What if we keep running up? You don't lose $1. Missed opportunity, sure. But in terms of waiting for better risk and reward, you have to establish the criteria of what it would take for the trade to come to you in an ideal world. And it either does and you take the trade, or it doesn't and you don't. Sushi BTC, daily higher low set. Same thing, we got the hourly uptrend. When we lose it, we'll scout a 4-hour higher low. And the bull's trying to see continuation of this uptrend. Link, also a stronger name. 12-hour higher low, also already set. We got down to hourly oversold conditions twice. There was a little bit of a red flag here. If we hit hourly oversold and bounce, that's great. But then once you drop to the lower low, that for me is a red flag. So bulls have made a very nice recovery. And if I had attempted, I didn't attempt this bounce, but I know I would have stopped out here without a doubt. That would have faked me out because that would have been a big red flag to me to confirm an hourly bear flag in oversold, I should say coming from oversold conditions. But in the end, daily EMA 12, 12-hour higher low, and it's just a question of, do we form a lower high here and tighten up, or can bulls break resistance? And the BTC pairing is as similar to Matic, stronger. The BTC pairing is stronger than the US dollar pairing, which is a good sign for the bulls overall. Nice move for stock market bulls. Bitcoin definitely wants to get its show on the road here and break this resistance now while we have this momentum. QQQ is going to be due for 5-minute consolidation here, and that's going to potentially weigh. Here we go. Get it going, Bitcoin. Again, clearly seeing the lead bulls, Matic, GMT, Sushi. I don't like GMT as much because it's not as liquid, and it's also much weaker. Bigger picture from where we are coming from, it's definitely a stronger name in the last couple of days. The percentage swings in both directions are a lot more significant. But if we're talking bigger picture, GMT has a ton of work to do on the longer term timeframes because we are coming from fresh fear lows where other names are forming monthly higher lows. It's very different. Looks like Binance bulls are waking up a bit. 12-hour higher low set. Again, got to be cautious the head and shoulders. But the broader market's reaction to the election results tomorrow night into Monday morning is likely going to have a fairly significant impact in how crypto shapes up these 12-hour timeframes, whether we go to higher highs or lose 12-hour uptrends. So we'll have to be keeping an eye on that, of course. I don't expect we're going to get, well, Tuesday night we'll get some info for sure. The market futures will be reacting Tuesday night, I would imagine. All right, what are you all looking at? Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the likes. Definitely need some more likes up there. Don't need to look at Matic ETH. We just looked at Matic BTC. That's given us all the info we need. FTM is also looking for a 12-hour higher low. We need an hourly trend change back to the bulls. We actually have it, so that's a good sign. Zoom out, 4-hour is still a downtrend. So same thing as, who do we just look at? Link. We need 4-hour uptrends to have follow. We need to confirm 4-hour uptrends if a 12-hour higher low is going to have follow through. If we can't confirm 4-hour uptrends, we're going to look for bearish continuation. If we eventually confirm 4-hour uptrends, that's when the 12-hour retracement can get towards 50% plus, which is what we have to see for the bulls to try and recover here. But due to the size of the drop over the last couple of days, for me, the most likely scenario is a 12-hour lower high on this next bounce. Talking about 1% gains per day. In a previous video, I was talking about 1% gains per day being substantial. Curious what my average percent gain do I get? Curious on average what percent gain do I roughly get? On the day, I have no idea. I have a dollar amount that I look for on a daily basis. It's about 0.15, maybe 0.13% of my entire capital that I'm trading with. But it's not something I track. I track the dollar amounts, which are much easier for me to keep track of because percentages, I'm constantly changing what my denominator is as my account value changes versus set dollar amount, which is my day maker goal, which is just a nice round number. DOT had a nice spike today. DOT 12-hour higher low is set. Ooh, continuation. This is a good sign for bulls. Even if you are not in DOT, some people are looking at DOT and saying, oh, I missed this. I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Other people are looking at DOT and saying, all right, I'm more confident in my altcoin bull positions because we're seeing continuation. The more individual names that see continuation, the more favorable the sentiment is going to be for everybody in the sector. So 12-hour, just a V-shape. Is that an hourly stair step? Pretty much. So did not give bulls much of a chance there. Just V-shape to the higher high. Resistance from here is 731, which we broke. 805 is next. Tons of space for an hourly higher low, for a 4-hour higher low to be the result of consolidation. And a good sign. Every name that heads to the higher high increases probabilities that peers will do it as well. All right, I'm going to get back to the stock market world here and wrap up the trading day. Space for a 15-minute higher low. Again, it's not ideal that Bitcoin is not breaking bold yet. Got to get over 20.8. Get this 12-hour higher low set. All right, I appreciate you all watching. Make sure and do good things out there. And I will see you So it's possible to scalp over 365% a year from day trading if you can be consistent with small percent gains every day. And you're not going to make gains every day. You're going to have losses. So you would need more than 365% to offset the losses that you take. It's possible. In crypto bull markets, many traders have seen thousands of percent gains. In more difficult markets, you're going to get much less. You're not going to be able to just apply a flat base, this is what I'm going to make, because market environments are so drastically different. The majority of my gains are made in a small amount of time versus little base hits otherwise. So if someone says to me, could you beat X percent a year? Well, what's the market doing? I have no idea. Some years I've hit thousands of percent. Other years I've hit hundreds of percent. Other years I've hit double-digit percent, 10%. Eventually, some year, I'm going to go red. So I wouldn't try and apply something that broad-based because it shifts so much with the market environment. And that's why it's so hard for people that quit their job or want to quit their job and start day trading, because they're budgeting. They're budgeting and trying to figure this out. Well, if I make this, and I'll do this. And it's like, okay, well, that's a great plan. But in the heat of the moment, the market environment is going to dictate whether you have significant opportunity to exceed your goal or whether it is hindering your ability to make your goal. And obviously, the market environment that we are in this year is, for me, the most tricky market environment easily in the last 8 years, which is just as long as I've been really fully paying attention to everything. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Make sure and watch the end of the day market video for the in-depth dollar and broader market key sector analysis.